Welcome to another edition of Ballaholics, the show for those who simply can't get enough about basketball. I'm Sam. We have, Z today. I'm so glad that he's here. You guys know Z. I don't know if you guys remember Z. He did a dorm style audition with us, Z.
I'm glad to be back talking about ball, man. Let's get this started.
We got a lot to talk about, honestly. I mean, first off, we gotta talk about what happened. We gotta talk about what happened last night. A couple nights ago, the Boston Celtics, man. They had such high expectations this season, and yet the Boston Celtics are officially eliminated from playoff contention, losing to the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. Let's take a look at this video.
When you have the unique opportunity of having special people and being a part of an organization like this, you're just appreciative, and I'm grateful. It's about to be crazy, G.
When you have all-star caliber players out there, it should make the game easier for you. And I talked about it before, but that's the true telltale sign of a great player is how well they integrate themselves into a new system and with new guys.
They have a team-oriented, at all times, vibe and culture here, and I had to be able to adjust, my individual talents to the greater good of the group.
Even if I ever had the inclination of hey, I want to test free agency, it's like, no, Boston's no, you're coming right back.
You guys will have me back. I plan on re-signing here next year.
There's a key word that goes into this whole entire season. That's patience, and that's even within the games. It's just, we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. I want to make sure that we're going to be fine. I had to call Brian, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips. Sometimes getting the most out of the group. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Has your mindset shifted, though, in regards to re-signing with Boston, like the announcement?
Ask me July 1st.
So it's a video of me and one of my best friends talking. And then it turns out to be a dissection of a free agency. I'm asking a question about the fans. You brought up the fans. Come on, bro. I didn't really come into this game to be cameras in my face, be famous. I'm not going to listen to you.
Just defensively, you guys have been taking shortcuts. So do you see that, and how do you guys fix things like that?
I don't know, it's up to Brad. Try to come in and help as much as possible. We should have probably trapped him a little bit more like every other team does in the league. But we didn't.
I'm definitely taking some games off for the playoffs. It just makes no sense to put emphasis on these regular season games.
I can't wait for all this other BS about regular season and keep getting better and talking over and over and over and again about what we can do to keep getting better in the regular season. I just want to be at the highest level playing. No, I'll be fine.
Why do you think that?
Because I'm here.
Have you ever had a shooting stretch like this? I think it's now at this point 19 for 62.
Man, who cares? For me, the 22 shot, I should have shot 30. Truth be told, it's no time to be disappointed. I think that, you take your lessons, you take your ass whipping that they handed us, and you move on. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm just trying to make it back to Boston first, safely. Get to see my family, decompress, do what human beings do.
That was Kyrie Irving, from the very beginning of the season, and now we see how he progressed to the end of the season. Obviously going in, so much expectations. Kyrie even saying he was going to re-sign, and then the Celtics get eliminated, and you see all the adversity that this team has to go through. Z, with such high expectations, what do you think went wrong for this Boston Celtics team?
I think there was a lot of things. I feel like one of the main things was Kyrie Irving himself. He's the leader of that team, but he obviously did not lead that team the way it was supposed to be. He himself said it, that they're team-oriented first. That's how they play, but obviously Kyrie, he can't fit that style of play, I don't think. There's even footage of him. There was an analysis on YouTube. There's footage of the guy. He doesn't pick up his man. He switches onto another man on the defense, which confuses the entire team. So that it gave the Bucks a free run every single time when he went to the rim. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo can attack as much as he wants, and if he gets in the paint, he's most likely going to dunk it, or he's going to shoot it, or he's going to pass it out. Kyrie Irving was definitely the downfall of that team this season, but there was just a bunch of chemistry problems in general. You have former All-Star Gordon Hayward coming off the bench. In my opinion, he's a starter any day, but they have a lot of talent. They just didn't harness it correctly. That was the main think?
So look, like with me, look, I'm not saying, Kyrie Irving, he's the leader of that team. You go 19 to 62, from the field, and then you say I should have took more shots. That's the attitude that you have. But look, I should the blame, there's a lot of blame to go around. It's not just one player. And it all starts with management. GM, Danny Ainge, it all started with you. You know why? Because when I looked at this Boston Celtics team, I looked at a team that last couple of years, the fans have been able to, fall in love with, and get behind and rally behind them. They like players that are very scrappy and grunty. We saw it with even when last year with Terry Rozier and Jaylen Brown, and then even the year before that, everyone got behind Isaiah Thomas. As obviously Isaiah Thomas gave that franchise all he had. When he lost his sister, he still played, and now it was easier for the fans to get behind that. And I feel like the Boston Celtics, the management, just overlooked the culture. Danny Ainge to trade Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie Irving. That is the start because, look, obviously that trade is good on paper. Kyrie Irving is an all-star. Isaiah Thomas at the time was also an all-star, but he was on his downfall. He was getting older. He's coming off an injury. So it makes sense on paper. But culturally, this person, that people are human. And he didn't take that into account. We look at head coach Brad Stevens after that. Once you get Kyrie, because first off, with Isaiah Thomas, you traded away, a beloved, Celtic who gave it his all. And it was all about winning for the Celtics, And he was, he came for, sister and shifted to Kyrie Irving, who, it became the storyline. Instead of trying to win for the Boston Celtics, it was like, okay, can I win without LeBron? That became the storyline. And it was him trying to be the leader, asserting himself, being power hungry and just being the alpha. Now, with Brad Stevens as the head coach, another thing. As a coach, you have to be fair to your players. Winning has to be the number one priority of all time, at all times. Last season, when Gordon Hayward didn't play and Kyrie Irving didn't play, they made it to the conference finals, okay? They had, Jaylen Brown was going off, Terry Rozier, and Jason Tatum. And what do you do? How do you reward them? Because as a coach, you want to reward winning. How do you reward them? By this year, inserting Gordon Hayward in the very start of the season when these guys balled out last season. How do you start Gordon Hayward immediately? I don't understand how you start him immediately. I think he should have came off the bench, and I think maybe you transition him slowly into the starting role. But coming off the injury, how do you do that?
Back to the Kyrie thing, though. Kyrie brings a championship mindset to Boston with his one ring and his finals experience and all of his playoff experience alone. So I feel like with that being said, compared to Isaiah Thomas didn't have that same playoff experience. He didn't have a championship. He didn't play with the best player in the world, LeBron James, So, I mean, them bringing Kyrie in is great on paper, but I also think that they wanted that fresh, new, young start and a leader in Kyrie who can lead your team in points, and who can lead your team in assists, who can somewhat facilitate. And though in Cleveland he was not the facilitator, I think they were trying to put him in that position here on the Celtics. But once again, like I said before, there's just a bit too much talent on that team. They don't need one guy to facilitate the entire thing. You got guys like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier, who could easily be starters on any team. On any team, they could be a starter at their given position. But Kyrie Irving is a superstar level talent. But I think what the Bucks did was freaking absurd. The way that they stomped them, we all said 7 games.
Dominated.
Stomped them. We said dominated. 7 games, and we said that it was going to be the Celtics. We all had our bets on the Celtics. I remember the dorm style edition.
I was looking for Paul Pierce, after saying, Boston in 5. I mean, he got the 5 games right. I just think he may have gotten the wrong team, honestly. Team, yeah. I mean, Milwaukee winning 4 straight games. Boston wins game 1. It didn't look good for Milwaukee.
It didn't.
But, they came, they proved everyone.
They just came to ball,
Look, to get back to your other point, with Kyrie Irving, being a great scorer and, great facilitator. That season when they traded Isaiah Thomas was the scoring leader in the NBA. He averaged, over 28 points. And he was able to lead. He's the leader of that Boston Celtics team. And he didn't have to try, assert himself. He didn't have to try and do that. He just, he was a natural leader. People wanted to get behind him. He had a purpose. He played with passion. That's what the Boston fans love. That's what the Boston fans love to see. They don't really care about, Kyrie Irving with his ego, trying to prove that he can't play without LeBron. And look, I'm not saying Kyrie's not a superstar. I'm not saying, well, I have a different opinion about superstar. I'm going to say he's an all-star. In order to be a superstar, you got to be a top-tier player that can actually not only put up, glamoring stats, but also be able to lead your team as a number 1 option. And I don't believe that Kyrie Irving is that primary option.
What about in the finals in 2016, game 6 and 7? Or
So who's
2017, I'm sorry.
So you're saying he's the primary leader?
16.
You're saying he's the primary leader.
Well, I mean, when he put up 41 back-to-back in 2016, I mean, that's leading the team. I mean, sure, LeBron did have a 41-point night that same day, same game. But I mean, doing that in the finals against Steph Curry?
Stop it.
Hitting the game-winning
stop it. Are you kidding me right now?
This guy
Are we having this conversation?
He had a 3.
Are we having this conversation right now about Kyrie Irving being the leader over LeBron James?
Did you not see that clutch?
Oh my!
If it weren't for Kyrie, LeBron would not have won the.
I want whatever you're on, see. I want whatever you're on.
Dude.
Bro, LeBron James.
Who hit that clutch 3 to send them into?
Who blocked Andre Iguodala? Who led that team through tough patches? That was LeBron James. When Kyrie Irving was injured in 2015, who won 2 games against the 2015 Golden State Warriors? That was LeBron. LeBron's able to lead his team. Kyrie Irving, before LeBron even came, his team, he couldn't even, bring his team to the playoffs.
LeBron couldn't even win the finals without Kyrie Irving.
LeBron got them 2 games against the Golden State, defending the champions.
Yeah, but they didn't win, and then they came back in 2016, and Kyrie had to have 41 back-to-back.
Oh, if you switch Kyrie Irving and LeBron, if you move Kyrie Irving, you switch Kyrie Irving and LeBron James in 2015, bro, they're not even going into the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. So I don't even want to hear that he is considered, possibly be a better, leader than LeBron James. And also, let's not forget that, LeBron, Kyrie Irving, has to try and assert himself. LeBron doesn't have to do that. LeBron doesn't have to do that. Okay. What do you think, now that, they actually lost, what do you think the future, holds for the Boston Celtics?
I'll say that they're gonna probably try to get rid of Kyrie Irving.
You think they're gonna try?
He's a free agent, right? This upcoming off season. I think he's looking into other places now. My personal take is Kyrie's still a bit young, but he's 27. I feel like Kyrie probably he doesn't need his own team if he wants to win. That's not how the NBA works today. Every player in the NBA is super talented nowadays. We have guys coming in that are freakish athletes. Kyrie Irving can't do it all by himself, and that was his problem, right? So I think he needs to go to a team where they already have great pieces intact and a system that he can fit into. I mean, I don't think that's
wasn't that Boston Celtics?
We thought that was Boston.
They had a system there.
Obviously, it just wasn't. I don't know.
I just don't think it was a proper fit. I think Kyrie Irving, likes to have the ball. Also loves to have the ball in his hands. And Boston Celtics, they play as a team. They play as a unit. It's not like one guy that always, goes at you. Mm-hmm. It's more of a team effort. And I really feel like Kyrie sort of inhibited, the ability of Jason Tatum. I feel like Jason Tatum really regressed this season as a result of having Kyrie Irving at the helm of the point guard position. Yeah. And I just feel like it's not a good fit for Kyrie in Boston. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not a good fit. I don't see him going to New York. Where do you see him going?
Well, look, we're gonna save that for next week. That's the next week thing. Because I'm sorry. Next week I forgot to tell you guys we're having a finale. It's gonna be the last show of Ballaholics, show number 20. We're getting everyone that you've seen on this show. I mean, I'm gonna try and do my best. Hopefully Z will be there also next week. Obviously, finals week would be hard, but we're gonna try and make that happen. And there we're gonna talk about where upcoming free agents are gonna go and make predictions. MVP predictions, but to get to your point before, I really think we're looking more at the Boston Celtics, and look, I think it comes down to 2 things. It's gonna be one of the 2 things that's gonna happen. Either one, they're gonna let Kyrie Irving go. They're gonna let him go because here's what happened. Here's what's going on. These young players right now, this team cannot win. Just as it is, it's not. This team you saw this year is not gonna be the same team you see next year. I believe they're going to do 2 things. Kyrie Irving he's going to leave. He'll go somewhere else. He'll go to New York, or Cali, with LeBron or the Clippers, or he'll go to Brooklyn or the Knicks. And I think they're going to the Boston Celtics are going to invest in their young players, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because when Kyrie Irving was there, he was blocking them from getting better. Jason Tatum had a regression this season. I look at because I was so disappointed with Jason Tatum. I mean, look. Last season, last playoffs, he averaged 19 points, shot 47% from the field, and his last game against LeBron. Remember that game 7 last year? He went off. He had 27 points, and he really had a game. He was feasting. And this last game he had, he shot 30% from the field. And then he had before that he had a 5-point, he had a 4-point performance. I mean, 29%. That's completely unacceptable, and I fully blame Kyrie because maybe not on the court and off the court. Because Kyrie's trying to assert himself. I'm the leader. Pushing away Jason Tatum. Putting him down. Putting down Jaylen Brown. putting down all those young players. You saw Terry Rozier. He said he had to sacrifice a lot. He was pissed. He was livid. If you guys saw that press conference, his press conference, which we actually have for you. But to get back to it, that's one option. Let's just watch this presser for now. I want to show you guys Terry Rozier's presser.
Terry Rozier, let's see that.
Definitely didn't go the way we all wanted, but I thank God for my family and my boys back at the crib. They kept me level-headed all year, because I've been dealing with some shit, man. I feel like we still all had that one goal. It wasn't easy on coach dealing with a lot of guys that want to be great, trying to get there. So, like I said, it's been tough. It's been a tough year, especially for me. But it ain't about me. That's why I don't complain or nothing. It just was tough. Just was tough. Dealing with all the talent we had, and different guys want to be in the limelight. Guys already in the limelight. It's just been a lot. But I feel like we all can step back, and I think that's the time right now when we're going on vacation. We just relaxing and we get to reflect on the season and learn from it. But there's nothing we can do about the season now. It's over with.
And look, like one thing that I really took out of that, I don't know if you did, but like it was just him saying, it's not about me. Terry Rozier, very humble guy, got drafted, in the late first round. He selfless. He played for the team, and like you compare that, you contrast that with Kyrie Irving, who was the number 1 overall draft pick, obviously in 2011, I believe. Yep. And obviously it's a lot of hype, and it's just different. Yep. It's just different, and obviously he feels like it wasn't fair. It wasn't. The team didn't perform well, and people had their self-egos. Even Marcus Morris said to me, earlier in the season where they weren't playing together. And the team, you could just tell they were so disconnected, from top to bottom, Just, it was really upsetting.
It was something else. I think we should get to Milwaukee, though. How did they do that to the Celtics? How do you think they were able to do it?
How did they do that? Well, first off, they took advantage of the Celtics team. I really believe the Celtics lost it. I don't like that. I'm not saying, Milwaukee, props to you. But Boston definitely lost that series. It was not Milwaukee that won it.
Really? I mean, the way Milwaukee was playing last year, they took them to 7 games, right? They were missing Hayward and Kyrie Irving. You put Hayward and Kyrie Irving back this playoff series, and they do worse. Milwaukee ends up spanking them in 5 games. How does that work?
I mean, obviously, shout out to Mike Buzenholzer and that GM too. I mean, I think his name is John Horst. I mean, shout out to you because you really, put a team together around Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, traditionally didn't have that jump shot. I mean, but he's shooting, I believe he's shooting actually above 40% from the 3-point line in the playoffs, which is absurd. That's crazy.
Chris Middleton shooting the highest percentage in NBA playoff history.
Chris Middleton, and then even Brook Lopez, I love watching Brook Lopez. Just like, he likes to flex. He's going from the 3-point line. Shoots like 6 or 7 threes a game. I mean, it's hilarious. It's hilarious, and like I just love. They're so fun to watch. They're so energetic. They play in the transition. They run. They fight. They grit. They hustle. Something that the Boston Celtics were supposed to do and supposed to be. But it just didn't happen. It just didn't work out.
It didn't. And listen, we'll say this: Milwaukee's system is what really took them over the top this year compared to last year. They have the perfect players around Giannis. Giannis will drive in. He has 4 other snipers on the perimeter. Anyone he can pass it to. They brought back Brogdon for Game 6 or Game 5. I'm sorry. Brogdon was hitting threes. Brogdon was making plays. If you saw the way George Hill was playing in Game 6,
George Hill, and who's the other point guard?
Sterling Brown
in the back, on the bench.
I forget his name. Yeah. No, Pat Connaughton. Connaughton's absurd. Yeah, Connaughton's absurd. No, but it's just like when you see George Hill grabbing alley oops and throwing it down with 2 hands, you know it's over for your team.
It's over. And sorry, I want to get back to the second option because I said there were 2 options. The second option is you're gonna keep Kyrie Irving. What you're gonna do is you can't have. As I said before, you can't have Kyrie Irving and young players back. It's not gonna work. You trade those young players and you go for the prize. You go big and you go for Anthony Davis, who is an MVP candidate, arguably a top 3 player in the NBA, and he does everything. Shoots from the perimeter, a great interior, great interior defender. He does everything. Great, prolific scorer, can score from anywhere, can have his way anywhere on the court. Once in generational talent, and you pair Kyrie and Anthony Davis together. maybe, just maybe, not only do you get out of the conference semifinals, but you actually make it to the NBA Finals and could possibly win an NBA championship for the Boston Celtics.
I think that move is it's kind of iffy. You know, how does AD fit in on the Celtics? How far do they really go with a Kyrie Irving type of player like we were describing? He's that player that wants his own team. Can Kyrie Irving ever be that facilitator, even if there's another?
Well, I think he can co-star. I think he can co-star with Anthony Davis. And since he was there first, you can argue that he's really the leader. He's taking on that leadership role. But I really want to see what happens there. I want to see what Danny Ainge has up his sleeve because he always seems to have something, and I really can't wait to see what happens to the Boston Celtics. I also can't wait to see Milwaukee Bucks fans, and
they're waiting for that Toronto Raptors. We gonna discuss that
and later on. It's gonna be a quick one, but we gotta get to the next segment. We gotta talk about. I don't know if you saw the game. Kevin Durant gets injured.
Yeah.
And when he walked off the court, I was like, my heart was like, boom, boom. As a Knicks fan, boom, 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 boom. I was like, is that an Achilles? Because I was like, damn, he has that Achilles injury. He goes to New York, and then it's just injury problems, and I was very upset. And trust me, I've never been more upset for Kevin Durant because he went to the Golden State, he's a snake, but it was very upsetting.
I think we'll see what happens with Kevin Durant. I think it's real funny. He's missing the rest of this series. I think that definitely gives James Harden and his Rockets a fair chance to win that series. They're down 3-2 right now.
So wait, do you think that the Rockets have a chance in this series against Golden State now that Durant's injured?
I very much think they do. I think if James Harden can just pull it together and lead that team for the next 2 games, they have a chance. What they need to do is they just need to let James Harden facilitate everything, and he needs to be that guy. He needs to be better than he was in Game 7 last year. Obviously, they were missing Chris Paul, but they have him back now. The Warriors only have their 3 All-Stars now, missing KD. When you have James Harden and Chris Paul with the rest of those teams, if they play together and they stick together, the Warriors shake under pressure. That's something you gotta remember. The Warriors shake under pressure. When their leader Kevin Durant isn't there, they get scared. When the things aren't going right for the Warriors, they get scared. So if they can, if the Rockets can push through, we'll see how good of a team the Rockets actually are. This is a testament to them. So we'll see what happens with that series. I don't know.
You're
laughing. You have your
Warriors? I want to go to dictionary.com. I want to go to dictionary.com. I'll give you the Webster Dictionary. I want you to look up the definition of being a leader. First you say Kyrie Irving is a leader, and then you go on. You have the guts to go and say Kevin Durant is the leader for Golden State. What is going on? We all know for that team, Steph Curry is the engine. Steph Curry's been there. Steph Curry is the leader of the Golden State Warriors. When times are tough, people look to Steph Curry. He's been there so long. How can you say Kevin Durant's the leader of that team?
Who has both of their finals MVPs?
Doesn't mean he's the leader. This just thing is look, Kevin Durant probably is the most talented player in Golden State. The leader is Steph Curry. And Steph Curry, that's why Kevin Durant might want to leave because it'll always be Steph Curry's team. You go to New York now, you go somewhere else, now it can be your team. Now we recognize you. Don't forget, Kevin Durant joined a 73-9 team. And that is why I think that the Rockets have no chance to go past Golden State. First off, they have a very small margin of error. Okay, so you got to win tonight, obviously. The Warriors have 2 tries to beat the Rockets. And, I'm not betting against the Warriors. They've won 24 out of the last 25 games when Steph Curry's playing and Durant is not playing. So I really think, the Rockets, and also the Rockets have only won 1 game away on the road this postseason.
Steph Curry chokes under pressure, man. He chokes.
But I feel like people are so quick to forget the Golden State Warriors before Kevin Durant arrived there. Obviously 73-9, and they just move the ball so much. Steph Curry, when Durant's not playing, Steph Curry knows how to step it up. Klay Thompson, again, amazing. The ball movement when Durant's not on the floor, because Durant, he slows down the pace. He does a lot of iso ball, and, it makes sense. He can score from anywhere on the court. He can get his way at any time. But, you have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, who will facilitate more, And, shout out to Draymond Green, because, no one talks about him, and people like to say he's, overrated. I think he's a little underrated. I watch these Rockets and Warriors games, and, obviously with Durant on the court, you want to slow down the pace and give him the ball. Draymond Green does not do that. Draymond Green runs up the court with the ball and facilitates. He plays in transition. He gets this Golden State team running fast, and he increases their pace, and it allows to find an easy basket. It always happens. I've seen it plenty of times against the Houston Rockets and in other series. He's very underappreciated. But to get back to my point, You have Steph Curry, who's an MVP, 2-time MVP. Klay Thompson, a marksman. He's a sniper from the back. And I know easy money sniper's not playing, but you still got two of the best shooters, arguably, in NBA history. I just think with the talent they have, maybe they choke one of those games. Maybe they choke, tonight. But when push comes to shove, when they're home, when Steph Curry is making threes in Oracle Arena with the fans, the loudness, that arena is, crazy. I just can't see the Houston Rockets, beating the Golden State Warriors.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say my money's going to be on the Warriors right now. I'll say that. But I'm going to say that there's a very good chance that the Rockets can win that series. You've seen what the NBA is looking like this year. In the semifinals, we have Portland and the Nuggets. We would have never thought that. In our semifinals, or in our conference finals, we now have Milwaukee. We never thought that happened. Milwaukee's now fighting for a chance at the NBA championship. I say if this Rockets team took them to 7 last year with Kevin Durant on the court, what do we have next for this Rockets team?
Because you just brought up an interesting point. You talked about Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
I want to hear, if Kevin Durant happens to be injured, for the rest of the NBA playoffs, do you still have the Golden State Warriors as the favorite to win it all? And if not, who do you have?
Kevin Durant is to miss the rest of the playoffs.
The rest of the playoffs. Are they still the favorite for the rest of the playoffs? Not just against Houston. But
you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes because they have the absolute most finals experience. They know how to get to the finals. So I mean, I didn't finish from before. I was gonna say the Rockets probably will push it to 7, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the Warriors are probably gonna win that series. They're more playoff adapted and cultured. They're gonna be an oracle for Game 7. Like you said, that's a great stadium. The fans are crazy. The Golden State once they get riled up, it's over. So I say Golden State and the Raptors still. I'm still saying that. Possibly Golden State in 7, but Kawhi's going to give them a goddamn run for their money, and if not, he might actually take the championship himself. Yeah. Kevin Durant doesn't. They don't have an answer for Kawhi. It's absolutely impossible. Even with Kevin Durant on the court, there's still no answer. There's still no answer for Kawhi Leonard. So without that guy on the court, and with Kawhi's playoff experience and finals experience, and his finals MVP, I think he'll be able to actually top that Golden State team.
And before I go on, talk about my favorite. I just want to go back to the other question. The other question. The Rockets still have a chance. It's not even so much if Durant doesn't play. It's not even so much the Warriors winning, but I feel like the Rockets can also lose. They've looked a little inconsistent these past couple games. And here's the thing. Now James Harden is looking like he's performing now. He's not, he's becoming clutch and he's not choking anymore. No longer choking. But now it's up to the role players. It's up to Eric Gordon to make shots. Chris Paul to facilitate. PJ Tucker to grab rebounds. In this last game, James Harden was doing it. He was doing it all. But yet these other players were not being as aggressive. And when you're at, you're in front of, millions and millions of fans, away fans that are booing you, it's hard for these players sometimes to, do well. Not for the All-Stars because, they have the confidence, they know they're good. Mm-hmm. But it's the role players like PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, and Chris Paul. And if the Rockets want to have a fighting chance, those players have to, they have to step up. And Clint Capella, you can't get 2 fouls, in the first quarter, in the first 5 minutes. That's not going to work either. You gotta stay out of foul trouble. You gotta play as a team. It can't just be Harden doing ISO. You said James Harden should do ISO before, to a certain extent. But overall, I don't think so. I think it's better when the Houston Rockets they play together and then James Harden cooks. There was one game I was watching where the Golden State, not the Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, they were all playing together very well, and James Harden wasn't doing it well. But then James Harden then he was doing well. He was dominating as a result of everyone else doing well around him. So I think that's the path to the Houston Rockets if they have, if they want to have a chance. But I really don't think they do. But to get back to my other point now, I know I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry. Okay, the Golden State Warriors, I said it before, they're still the favorite. No doubt Durant's out. We look 2015, and 2015 they won, obviously. 2016, if it wasn't for, that, Draymond Green getting suspended for that one game, Andre Iguodala gets injured that game. Andrew Bogut gets injured. He was a huge, he was huge for that Andrew Bogut. Rim protector, and, that was huge for the defense. And I just feel like they would have won 2 times. And you have, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. As long as you have those 3 players on the court as Steve Kerr as your head coach, who is a phenomenal head coach, really underrated for me, I think the Golden State Warriors are still the favorite. But I honestly, I'm pretty excited, to see this game. I really hope I hope the Houston Rockets win. I just don't think so.
Who do you see in the finals?
Who do I see in the finals?
Who do you see see in the finals?
I think it's going to be Golden State and, I think Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
I think Milwaukee or Toronto. It's tough. I go back and forth.
You say Milwaukee trumps.
I want to say Milwaukee, but it's very tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. That is very tough.
I don't know, but
I mean, they did bring Brogdon back, so that is a 50
that's
40
huge.
player coming off their bench for them. So I mean,
No doubt.
we'll see that. We'll see something about that. I would say if he wasn't there, if he still wasn't playing, then the Raptors probably have a bit too much depth for for that Milwaukee squad. But now it's going to be real interesting.
Oh yeah, I really think that Milwaukee team is getting poised to make a huge run.
Yeah.
I just feel like the playoff experience is really hard for them, but maybe they can get over it. We'll see. The
They
first
stepped up 2 rounds from last
year.
year.
We'll see. Yeah, exactly. Let's get on to our next segment. I don't know if you guys actually, are aware. I mean, I'm sure you are because this is all over the news. We all know about the new laughingstock of the NBA. And guess what? It's not the New York Knicks this time. It's not my beloved Knicks. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. Now they're offering Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue has this nice cake. Lakers cake. Welcome to the Lakers, coach. And then they can't agree. Tyronn Lue, rejects the offer, and now they have to, make a new offer to a new head coach.
Yeah,
what's going on with this? Assuming Magic Johnson steps down, and then Tyronn Lue.
LeBron doesn't want to be with Tyronn Lue. That's clear. He was with him on the Cavs for the past 3 years. They didn't win. They won that one time in 2016, but that was because of LeBron, not because of Tyronn Lue coaching system. I think we can agree that the Knicks are still a laughingstock.
But the question is, who is the official laughingstock right now? That's the question. That's really the question that we want to get to.
No, I mean, you could definitely still say the Knicks.
You think the Knicks are the official laughing over the Lakers?
The Knicks are atrocious, man. After that trade for KP, they're just atrocious. They're not getting out of anything anytime soon unless they grab up Zion Williamson. But who knows how far that'll go. I say the Hawks are probably going to get him, but no. It's definitely still the Knicks. Everything that's going on with the Lakers right now, it's just some drama. They got a lot to fix before next season. They got to figure that whole situation out and which players they're going to have on their court as their starting 5. They're like the Celtics. They have this young talent, but because of their star player who's holding it down and facilitating, they can't actually harness those young players, and some of those players saw regressions. Brandon Ingram saw regression this season. Brandon Ingram's supposed to be a top caliber player. He's like a Kevin Durant. This guy can score from anywhere on the court. He just needs to gain some more muscle mass, obviously. But no, we'll see what the Lakers are able to do. I mean, I don't know how far they go. They didn't make the playoffs this year. What do you say they're doing next year? They are a lot.
Well, first off, before I say what they're doing, they have to actually, stop and say, what are we doing right now? And what do you, I trust me, the way you do this segment, it's coming up. But right now, Lakers, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because, oh my goodness, I mean, Tyronn Lue, how disrespectful can you be to this man? Look, first off, I think you should have kept Luke Walton. I think Luke Walton was a good coach. I think they were derailed by injuries this season. Brandon Ingram, I feel like if LeBron James played and Lonzo Ball, they were fully healthy, they could have made a run. And just because they didn't make a run, things got, obviously the Lakers have a huge market, so, the media builds it up, and then drama follows. And look, Magic Johnson stepped down, obviously for Jeannie Buss, and, I don't know if Jeannie Buss, was sending Rob Pelinka emails behind Magic Johnson's back, and it was secretly copying Magic Johnson on the emails, so he was able to see the emails. That's outrageous. that's outrageous. And then after that, you agree, you fire Luke Walton, and then you look and you search for the head coach, and you sort of half-ass the signing of Tyronn Lue. You half-ass it because you're probably doing it only for LeBron James because that's LeBron James' choice, I believe. And what happens is, instead of, offering him, instead of being respectful, they're very disrespectful. First off, they're making him choose his staff. They're trying to choose. No, they're not making him choose. They're trying to choose his staff for him. How they want to put Jason Kidd, Tom Thibodeau. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But if you're the head coach, you choose who you want as your assistant coaches. Because you don't. Here's why. You don't want assistant coaches who are not for you. They're not in your best interest. And there are times. Trust me. I don't know. You play. You got your fair share of NBA 2K. But I remember, this one thing comes to mind. It's this one badge in my GM, and it's the snake badge. And it's when the player you hired, the staff you hired, tries to actually secretly undermine you so they can pick over your position. And that's huge for a coach. You can have an assistant coach that tries to undermine you. I'm not saying Tyronn Lue did that to David Blatt back in Cleveland, but I am saying that's a thing. And I feel like at that point, Tyronn Lue has to, the head coach should be able to choose who they want for their staff. Second off, you offer the dude a 3-year deal. And if you look at traditional coaches, they've gotten 5-year deals. David Fizdale, Luke Walton, when he was, signed with the Lakers, and out with the Kings. Steve Clifford, These coaches, they all get 5-year deals. So let's give this guy a 3-year deal and then say, not only do we give you a 3-year deal, but we're gonna choose your staff for you. You don't even get to choose your staff. I mean, how disrespectful can that be? I just feel like it's so disrespectful.
That's pretty disrespectful. No, Tyronn Lue didn't really. He has a championship under his belt.
I'm not saying he's an amazing coach. I'm just saying the way in which the Lakers went about it. If you're gonna hire him, go all out. Don't like half-ass. Do it.
They half-assed that deal. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, I think Tyronn Lue, with his championship experience under his belt, it won't be hard for him to find another position somewhere in the league. I think someone's gonna offer him something. I mean, we'll see. Though.
I still really hope he comes back. I hope they're able to work it out. I mean,
with Cleveland.
No, with the Lakers, with LeBron. I'm just it's egregious. It's egregious. It's despicable. It's disgraceful. It's a disgrace. And anyway, I'm sorry. I forgot. I left something out because us Knicks fans know Kurt Rambis who was under Phil Jackson's helm when Phil Jackson was the GM the president of basketball operations for the New York Knicks. Kurt Rambis he instilled Kurt Rambis as the assistant coach, and then Kurt Rambis was the coach, and then Kurt Rambis everywhere Kurt Rambis goes. This dysfunction. Kurt Rambis is the epitome of dysfunction. He goes to the Los Angeles Lakers to be a consultant. Not to mention his wife Linda Rambis. She has a special She's like special projects. What in the world is a special projects mean? What does that even mean? Because I got a report. It said Kurt Rambis has he's exercising his power. Because Jeannie has a really good relationship with Jeannie Buss. So Kurt Rambis has tons of power, and Linda Rambis, who I've never even heard of. So, I mean, but why do they get to dictate what happens with the coach? And why are they trying to get in the way of dictating who Tyronn Lue hires, and they're getting involved in basketball operations? They shouldn't even be involved. If it's Jerry West, good. But Kurt Rambis, that's just stupidity.
What's his position again?
He's a consultant, but she has a special operations. She's a special projects manager. It's some weird, suspicious, mysterious position, and I don't know why in the world, why would you even want them? I mean, I know this is I feel like this is their problem though. The Lakers' problem, if you look into the deep root of the problem, they operate too much on family. It's too much like a family. It's not like business. They don't separate family and business and relationships. Magic Johnson, a friend. And then, Laura Plinka, obviously, was Kobe's agent, and, they have a great relationship. And then you look at Kurt Rambis, who, obviously has a great relationship under, Phil Jackson. And Phil Jackson and Jeannie Buss still contact each other routinely. They used to be a thing. They were married, and then they, broke up, but they still talk. And, obviously, Kurt Rambis played with the Lakers. But you got to be able to distinguish, family here and then business here, And I'm not saying, obviously Danny, to a certain extent, you can't. I'm not saying Danny Ainge it and then trade away your, screw up your culture, but like that. But I am saying you have to have a clear, finite line and separate family from business.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, the Lakers fans weren't happy. They actually had a protest. We want to take you guys to this Lakers protest.
Fire Rambis! Fire Rambis! Fire Rambis! Fire Rambis! Fire Rambis! Fire Rambis!
And to see the disarray my organization has gone through with recent leadership, all the instability, witnessing that has been painful. Witnessing what's going on right now with the Lakers organization draws a lot of similarities, and to be able to be a part of this chaos, one as an NBA fan, but more importantly as a Phoenix Suns fan, I'd be lying if I didn't say there was a little bit of enjoyment being taken from this, but I can empathize with this whole thing. The decisions the front office, that management, that ownership is making is a complete catastrophe related to the fan base of this wonderful organization.
No! Here we go, baby! Steve Ballmer! I love you, baby!
I love seeing that random Clippers fan. I mean, this is hilarious. And I know it's 8:30, so I know you have to go. So, it was a pleasure having you.
Sam, nice to be on the show, man.
We love having you. We truly
pleasure.
do. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure.
And hopefully you can make it next week to the finale.
week.
We're trying to get everyone there. You know, we're gonna surprise you guys. We have some special not only segments. We gonna bring some cake. We're gonna have some fun. Maybe Nerdy's pizza for us. Not you guys, for us. But
Real fast before we end this, where do you see that Toronto Philly series going, man?
Oh, I see Toronto winning it at home. Kawhi Leonard. It's the thing is again like consistency. Kawhi Leonard. Toronto Raptors. They're so consistent. Kawhi Leonard. Averaging north of 30 points a game. I mean, it's tremendous. And I believe he's shooting like 50% from the field. No, 50% from the 3-point line, which is that's crazy to me that you can even do that. He's averaging more from the 3-point line. He has a higher field goal percentage from the 3-point line than he does for shooting from the mid range. And I feel like everyone else is supporting cast play amazing defense. I think Philly, under pressure away, I don't think I get it done.
Word.
What do you think?
And if they do get that done, what does that Milwaukee Philly series look like, man?
Oh, Milwaukee's winning that one too. Though actually, it'll be close. Definitely for sure.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. All right, man. Always a pleasure.
All right, man.
All right, guys. So obviously, we're gonna miss Z. We love having Z here, but now we have to. I'm saying, I feel bad because he's gonna have to miss. He's gonna have to miss my favorite segment. It's the what you doing. Basically, we're just showing bloopers of NBA players or any athletes in general, and basically just roasting them. So. First off, we gotta roast, Packers offensive lineman David, I can't pronounce his last name, Bakhtiari. Yes, we're gonna roast him. He was actually at the Milwaukee Bucks game. Let's see what we have to see. Let's take a look.
And please welcome number 69 from your Green Bay Packers, David Bakhtiari.
Okay, so you got one. Another one? I love watching Aaron Rodgers look at him in disbelief, but as an offensive lineman, you have to do that. We have to do that because offensive linemen have the big bellies, so they have the big bellies. You gotta drink some beer. You get the beer belly. That's how it works. Right? Andrew knows too. All right. Next up, we have Channing Frye. NBA veteran Channing Frye, and Channing Frye. He's a little tired of playing basketball, so he tries to take a break. He tries to play some baseball. And tries to throw the first pitch. Let's take a look at
Channing Frye, part of the Cavaliers NBA World Championship team in 2016. Recently announced his retirement. Throughout the ceremonial first pitch, he was a little wide of the mark. He yanked it. But he didn't bounce it in front of the plate, and that was his goal. He didn't want to bounce it.
He wanted to get it to the point. He just forgot to turn a little bit.
What is he doing? Okay, can someone answer the question? What is he doing? What are you doing trying to stick to a sport that you don't play? Stick to basketball, please. I can't. Oh man, I don't even know. It's too bad. Oh, and we got some more footage, from the Lakers protest. Let's see what these guys are doing.
D'Angelo, LaMelo, LeVar.
We need all 4 balls in LA.
We need
They're like the Infinity Stones. Bring them all together. We'll bring it back, baby.
What are the Clippers?
Actually, I don't think anyone's watching the Clippers.
Who's on the Clippers? Who's on the Clippers? No one knows.
Your tweet said it best. Your tweet said it best. Look at who they're trying to hire. Your tweet. I just said it. Your tweet said it best. JB Bickerstaff, Lionel Hollins, Frank Vogel. You had one job. Oh my God, there's a Clipper fan.
I can tell the Laker era is over. It's Clipper time. 8 seed forever, man. Come on.
My uncle had Magic. My brother had Kobe. I have LeBron. What's he brought me? Nothing.
It was that Clippers fan. I forgot his name, but he's a huge devoted Clippers fan. And look, if I'm the Lakers, maybe I do consider, signing Langelo Ball and hiring LeVar Ball as my head coach. I don't know. Maybe that's the right way to do, go about this. I don't even know at this point. I mean, you're already dysfunction. You might as well just hire LeVar Ball. You might as well. All right, so let's get on with the next segment. As Z was alluding to when he was here, I'm sure he believes. I don't know what he believes, but this segment we're basically gonna see which Eastern Conference team has the best chance against the Golden State Warriors, and we're gonna pretend the Golden State Warriors include Kevin Durant, or they don't. But which Eastern Conference team has the best chance? That's what the question is. For me, it is the Toronto Raptors. Easily the Toronto Raptors. And look, not trying to take anything away from the Milwaukee Bucks, but look, the Milwaukee Bucks haven't made it out of the first round until this year. The Toronto Raptors have so much playoff experience, like crazy. You look down their roster. We look at Marc Gasol. He's been a six-time. Marc Gasol's been to the playoffs 6 times. Been to the conference finals in 2013. And let's not forget, Marc Gasol, he had a 2-1 lead on the 2015 Golden State Warriors. That Memphis Grizzlies team, 2-1 lead on the Golden State Warriors, and that was all thanks to Marc Gasol. Then we look at Serge Ibaka. I love saying that so much, Serge Ibaka. It really rolls off the tongue nice. 8-time, appearance in the NBA playoffs. He was in the NBA, finals when OKC had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in 2012. Then we look, and no, we're not done yet. We go to the championship pedigree that this team has. Danny Green. I didn't even say Kawhi Leonard yet. Danny Green. Been there 8 times. Been to the finals twice with the San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich. And you guys remember, Danny Green's beautiful, miraculous, his just his performance in the 2013, NBA Finals. Shot 55% from the 3-point line. He was going to be the Finals MVP had they won that series against LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh's Miami Heat. And then we get to Kawhi Leonard. Then we get to the Claw. Obviously been the 6-time, playoff 6 times, and he's just amazing. He's arguably the best player in this NBA playoffs. He not only, does he have a championship, does he have that championship pedigree, but he actually won the Finals MVP. So he's the Finals MVP as well. And he's arguably one of the best clutch shooters in the NBA that the NBA has ever seen. Even, NBA's first takes, Max Kellerman said that Kawhi Leonard is arguably a better, clutch performer than Kobe Bryant. Well, Max said the best. I say, Max, I don't know what you're smoking either. I didn't know that ESPN hires people that smoke weed, because that was just crazy. Yeah, as Stephen A. Smith would say, stay off the weed! I can't do that. I'm trying to be Stephen A. Smith. I'm a wannabe. I'm always trying to be someone else because I'm not happy with myself. So, I wish I was Stephen A., but we can't. I'm trying to do my best impression. But anyway, Kawhi Leonard, he's, averaging, north of 30 points this playoffs. Obviously, I said before when he was here, 50% from the 3-point line, shooting 48%, and he can get any shot he wants whenever he wants it as well. And not only is he, a prolific scorer and a clutch performer on the offensive end, but what he does for that defense, is crazy. He's the best two-way player in the NBA, and he does it all. He can block shots, he can get steals, gets in the transition, he gets his teammates open shots, he elevates the performance of his teammates, and because of that, I really believe, and his championship pedigree, I believe that Kawhi Leonard is the best player in this NBA playoffs. Yes, Antetokounmpo, he's very young, 24 years old. He has potential to be there one day. He has the potential to eclipse him, but right now it's Kawhi Leonard. Another point against Golden State is, Golden State loves to run a lot of pick and rolls, especially if Kevin Durant isn't playing that series. The ball movement is huge. And in order to actually combat that and go against that, you need to have a team of versatile defenders. And again, the Toronto Raptors team, defensively, they're crazy. They allow the 3rd fewest points in the paint this playoff series. That's why Ben Simmons has been a no-show. That's why he's choking. Another thing with Golden State, though, is they like to play small. You have their Hamptons 5. You have Steph Curry. You have Klay Thompson. Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green. So, if the Milwaukee Bucks, Brook Lopez is not going to work. You're going to draw him to the perimeter, and you're not going to be able to score on him. However, the Toronto Raptors can go small. They can put Serge Ibaka at the 5 or Pascal Siakam at the 5. And they can switch. You have Danny Green, and you have Kawhi Leonard who can switch. You have Kawhi Leonard defending the perimeter. All the versatile defenders, tied to their playoff experience, their championship pedigree, and the star talent they have, I think the Toronto Raptors have the best chance to defeat the Golden State Warriors, in the NBA Finals if the Raptors make it out of the East. Well, it looks like we only have one more segment left, and it's the draft lottery. As you guys know, a week from today, or not a week from today, but coming up, next week, the draft lottery takes place. And this is a chance, for NBA teams, to get that number 1 overall pick. And obviously the league changed the rules this year. Actually the top 3 teams, top 3 teams have an equal chance to obtain that number 1 pick. They have a 14% chance to obtain that number 1 pick. And I feel like, if I'm trying to think of which team has the most at stake, it is my New York Knicks. They have the most at stake, and they've been a laughing stock as well as the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, they haven't made the playoffs since 2013. You have James Dolan, who's an incompetent, owner leading that New York Knicks team, and they're so disappointing because I was spoiled. Personally, I started following basketball in 2013, so I was sort of spoiled seeing them be the 2nd seed. And I just feel like the New York Knicks have the most at stake. They cannot afford to screw this up. You get the number 1 overall pick. You have Zion. Zion Williamson is a once-in-a-generational talent. He can alter a franchise just by being there. He's like that. He has that potential in him. He has that LeBron James, potential, that Kevin Durant potential. He can alter your franchise and he can change and alter the trajectory of your path, of the New York Knicks. And it's tough because the Knicks have, the worst record. So, I wish it was last season where they had a 25% chance. And also, to go on with this, if the Knicks obtain the number 1 overall pick, it also helps them. It makes it more. They're more flexible now because they can actually try and trade him. Maybe convert him. Call New Orleans and be like, what's good, David Griffin? Maybe you want to work out a trade and send Zion Williamson to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. Because now, let's say, Kyrie or KD decides to stay in their respective organization. If you're still able to land one of those players, if you sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie goes to Brooklyn, but then you get Zion Williamson, you could potentially, trade Zion Williamson for Anthony Davis, and then you could have Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis on the same team. It just gives the Knicks so much flexibility. Zion Williamson is a once-in-a-generational talent. He has so much hype. Obviously he'd be the 2nd heaviest player in the NBA. At 285 pounds, at a power forward position, can get can go to the rim. He is a monster. So he can yam it on you, throw down monstrous jams. He can pass. He has that. He has potential. People like to say all he can do is score and dunk. That's compared to Blake Griffin. And for me, I can't just compare to Blake Griffin. I think he can be more arguably LeBron James because look, LeBron James also didn't have a jump shot. Zion Williamson, he has court vision. He can pass to his teammates, find the open shot. He's unselfish. It's not all about him all the time. Even when he got injured with his foot, when the Nike thing happened, people were saying to sit out, and he knew that he wasn't going to sit out. He wasn't going to let his teammates down. That's just the kind of person he is. And for Zion Williamson, has the court vision, can run the transition, super athletic, freakish athleticism. And I just feel like he has to be, for the Knicks. I sincerely hope that he is going to the New York Knicks. And I really, I'm sort of, I know we had bad luck in the past, so I'm sort of nervous about it, but hopefully, the marble balls just fall in our favor. We have Patrick Ewing, so I'm praying, or we can just rig it. All right, guys, well, that's all we have for today's edition of Ballaholics, and make sure to join us next week for our finale edition. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be crazy. All right, I'm signing off, and have a nice night. Woo!